Between the 5 years, Misa Amane still clutches onto the fragmented memory of that night. The night she believed Kira saved her from the menacing figure lurking in the shadows. That single encounter has solidified into a potent backstory, fueling the creation of a jealous cult depicted to worshipping Kira. Their acts steeped in a justification of divine intervention. They have committed unspeakable acts all in the name of their Savior, blindly following the path carved by their distorted faith. But fate, or perhaps irony, has intervened when Light Yagami, their direct enemy, has uncovered their operation, and with effortless efficiency, he arrested every single member of the cult. However, a twist of fate has rewritten the narrative. Rem, Misa's devoted Shinigami, faced with an unbearable prospect of Misa's imprisonment, has made a dramatic decision. Driven by an unwavering loyalty, Rem has wielded the power of the second Death Note, writing the name of Light Yagami, effortlessly ending his reign as L. This act of sacrifice has sealed Rem's own fate, dissolving into nothingness as the Shinigami law dictates. Humans are such interesting creatures. Rem might have mused in her final moments, reflecting on the strange compulsion that led her to her demise. The news of Light's abrupt demise has spread all over Rami's house, a stark reminder of the ever-present void left by L's absence. Near, the prodigy with an unstainable intellect has stopped, ready to step forward, ready to shoulder the mantle of L, the world's greatest detective. He has pored over the details, dissecting the events leading up to Light's death, and aware of the weight of expectation now that rests upon his young shoulders. In a chilling turn of events, Mello, never one to shy away from dramatic measures, has orchestrated a disturbing broadcast, revealing his abduction of Sayu Yagami. With cold calculation, he has admitted to taking her life, a desperate attempt to ignite a spark in Light, to present him with a case of intrigue, so emotionally charged that it would consume him with obsession. This intention would force Light to confront his limitations, to watch him crumble under the pressure and weight of being L. But Mello's plan had been rendered tragically futile as Light is gone. Nier, now assuming the mantle of L, has recognized Mello's involvement almost immediately. The depth of the case, the personal connection to the Yagami family, all point towards someone who knew Light's secrets. His methods are uncontroversial. Nier mumbers, a hint of grudging respect in his voice, but his motives are clear. Driven by an unwary resolve, Nier has dedicated himself to uncovering the truth behind Sayu's death, bringing Mello to justice. His investigation had led him to a network of the mafia members who participated in the heinous act. With the resources of the newly formed SBK at his disposal, Nier has embarked on a dangerous journey to Los Angeles, determined to dismantle Mello's operations from the inside. The SBK agents, handpicked for their unique skills and unwavering loyalty, had systematically infiltrated the mafia's ranks, using methods that pushed the boundaries of morality. They had interrogated each member, extracting information through whatever means necessary. The truth is fragile, and sometimes it requires a little more persuasion that Nier always used to think. Their relentless pursuit has finally yielded a breakthrough, revealing the individual closest to Mello, the one who possesses the key to his location, Matt. With painstaking precision, Nier has meticulously crafted a plan, anticipating every possible scenario, accounting to every potential variable. Weeks have turned into months as he's refined his strategy, ensuring that every detail is accounted for. Only through Meticulous planning, can we hope to succeed? Finally, the moment has arrived to put his plan into action, to confront Mello and the Mafia in a decisive showdown. The operation has unfolded with Nier's flawless execution, but Mello, a cunning strategist in his own right, has anticipated their move. As the SPK agents has closed in, he triggered a devastating explosion, engulfing the location in flames. Mello has managed to escape amidst the chaos, leaving behind a trail of destruction and uncertainty. Mello, realizing that Light would never have been so patient all this time, so methodical in his approach, understands that he's dealing with a new L, a different kind of opponent. He resolves to expose L's true identity, to prove to the world that L is dead. Mello, driven by a mixture of resentment and a twisted sense of respect, has orchestrated another daring plan. He has targeted the SBK's hideout, eliminating several agents and threatening Nier to relinquish his own known photograph. Echoing the self-sacrificial actions of Beyond Birthday, Mello has prepared to sacrifice himself in a final act of defiance. He anticipated Nier's strategy, knowing that Hale Lindner would be used as the bait, exploiting their complex history to lure him into a trap. Mello himself allowed himself to be captured, only to unleash a devastating fire consuming the building, incarcerating himself and Lindner, leaving their bodies unidentifiable. The case, shrouded in mystery, has remained unsolved, a bitter disappointment for Nier, a haunting reminder of his limitations as L, the third, in a line of legendary detectives. Despite his failure to stop Mello, Nier does his best to keep the balance of power at check. But even then, he still fails, as the entire world learns of L's demise due to mass broadcasting. The news all over Japan, which next spreads to the entire world. All of the criminals that thought they could get away with things since L was the only detective on the planet that could catch them. The world is plunged into chaos, with all the villains revealing how thought out they thought the future would be without L. Before L's emergence a decade beforehand, criminals weren't as smart or cunning as of now. And far too much criminals use this chance to wreak havoc, which no matter how well Nier could direct Interpol all over the world, there was still too much criminals to deal with. The situation starts to look like Gotham from the third installment of the Dark Knight trilogy movies, but far more hellish. Nier, losing motivation and consumed by failure, decided to give up being a detective and hands the mantle back to L himself. L, although doing poorly at bringing back the balance just like Nier, doesn't give up like Nier, but keeps solving cases and putting criminals back in their prison. And he does that after a few years, until balance is finally restored. L, initially thankful to the well-earned epilogue, was broken inside. Something in him was rotten after the news of Light's death. Despite fearing what Light could have become as the ruler with L's name, L still loved Light for being an intellectual equal. He breaks down, ready to die, but he knows the world still needs L as his protector. His motivation splits in two as he starts hallucinating Light Yagami in front of him, watching his pitiful mindset, looking down on him as an ant in front of his throne. L wished he could have one more time with Light, maybe in a game of cat and mouse in another reality. Meanwhile, in heaven, Light watches down on others, specifically L, while sipping tea. All possible due to hell and heaven existing in the world. He gets up looking ready to start a war, which he does, prepared to even take on God himself, because he got bored.